The receptionist couldn't stop herself from laughing. "You're applying for a janitor's job?" she asked, looking at the exhausted man standing in front of her. His shoes were torn, his jacket was faded, and he carried nothing but a worn-out folder. He quietly nodded and handed over the application. She tossed it onto the pile without another glance. But less than 10 minutes later, the Billionaire CEO canceled a billion-dollar meeting, rushed downstairs, and froze the entire building with one sentence: "Where is Ryan Calloway?" Nobody could understand why the richest man in the company was searching for a poor janitor applicant. The truth would leave everyone speechless. Before we begin, if you enjoy emotional stories with unforgettable twists and heartwarming endings, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Your support helps us bring more inspiring stories every week. Ryan Calloway had once lived a life that most people only dreamed about. Years ago, he owned a respected construction company, employed hundreds of workers, and was known for treating every employee with kindness and respect. He believed that no job was too small and that every person deserved dignity. But life has a strange way of testing the strongest people. Ryan's trusted business partner, Victor Kane, secretly stole millions from the company and disappeared overseas, leaving Ryan to face crushing debts and criminal accusations. Although Ryan was innocent, the damage was done. Banks seized his assets, clients abandoned him, and the media destroyed his reputation. Overnight, the successful businessman became a man with nothing. As if losing everything wasn't enough, tragedy struck again. Ryan's wife passed away after a long battle with illness, leaving him alone to raise their 8-year-old daughter, Sophie. Every night she would hug her father and whisper, "Don't worry, Daddy. Tomorrow will be better." Those simple words became Ryan's only source of strength. He accepted every honest job he could find, loading trucks, washing dishes, cleaning warehouses, but none lasted long enough to keep a roof over their heads. One morning he noticed an advertisement outside Kingsley Global Holdings. Janitor needed. Immediate hiring. Ryan looked at the sign for several seconds before smiling sadly. Honest work is never small, he whispered to himself. The next morning he dressed in his cleanest clothes, kissed Sophie goodbye, and promised he would return with good news. Inside the company's magnificent headquarters, everything reflected wealth, gleaming marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and employees wearing expensive suits. Ryan quietly filled out the application and sat patiently in the waiting area while other applicants whispered and laughed at him. Meanwhile, 78 floors above, Billionaire CEO Sebastian Kingsley was preparing to sign the biggest business deal of the year. His assistant entered with a stack of hiring documents that accidentally included janitor applications. Sebastian signed several papers before suddenly stopping. One application caught his attention. Ryan Calloway. His face turned pale. His hands began to shake. That name brought back memories he had never forgotten. 20 years earlier, Sebastian had been a poor engineering student working nights at a dangerous construction site. One careless mistake had nearly cost the company thousands of dollars. Everyone demanded that he be fired. Everyone. Except one project manager. Ryan Calloway. Instead of blaming him, Ryan accepted responsibility himself and even paid for the damaged equipment out of his own bonus. Before leaving, Ryan placed a hand on the frightened young man's shoulder and said words Sebastian carried with him for the rest of his life. Never judge a person by their worst day. Give people a second chance, and one day life will give you yours. Those words transformed Sebastian's future. He completed college, built Kingsley Global Holdings into a billion-dollar empire, and promised himself that if he ever found Ryan again, he would repay that kindness. Without saying a word, Sebastian stood up, ignored the confused board members, and rushed toward the elevator. Downstairs, Ryan was about to leave after waiting nearly an hour. Suddenly, the lobby doors opened. The Billionaire CEO himself walked in. Every employee immediately stood up. Sebastian looked around the room until his eyes stopped on Ryan. He slowly walked toward him. "Mr. Ryan Calloway." Ryan stood politely. "Yes, that's me." To everyone's complete shock, Sebastian smiled with tears in his eyes and extended both hands. "I've been searching for you for 20 years. The lobby fell silent. The receptionist who had laughed earlier couldn't believe what she was seeing. Sebastian escorted Ryan to the executive office himself. There, Ryan shared the painful story of how he had lost everything and how his only dream now was to provide a better future for Sophie. After listening quietly, Sebastian picked up the janitor application and tore it into pieces. Ryan looked confused. Sebastian opened another folder and placed a new contract on the table. "This company doesn't need you to clean its floors," he said. "It needs you to help lead it." Ryan stared at the document in disbelief. It offered him the position of Chief Operations Director, a luxury company apartment, full medical benefits, and complete educational support for Sophie. Ryan's eyes filled with tears. "But, why?" Sebastian smiled. "Because 20 years ago, when I had nothing, you believed in me. Today, it's my turn to believe in you." Months later, Ryan helped transform the company into one of the most respected businesses in the country. He introduced programs that hired struggling single parents and gave honest people a second chance. Sophie finally smiled again, knowing her father had kept his promise. Sometimes, the person applying for the smallest job carries the greatest heart. Kindness never disappears, it always finds its way back. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more emotional stories with unforgettable endings.